Before this video starts, it's worth mentioning that for all of these video clips, I have added a little bit of compression, not enough to change the sonic characteristics of the sound, but more or less just to tame the transients. And there's also no EQ applied as well. This is a comparison between my Audio-Technica AT2020, my Audix i5, and my Austin Mics DIY kit ribbon microphone. Each of these microphones operates a little differently, and that's what creates the different sonic properties of each mic. For example, this condenser mic operates by having two charged electrical plates, one that moves and one that's stationary. And as the one that moves gets closer and further to the stationary plate, the transfer of electrons either is higher or lower, and that charge is then converted into an audio signal. The way that this dynamic microphone works is there's a thin layer of mylar or plastic that has a coil of copper wire attached to it that is suspended above or around a magnet. And as the pressure waves from sound or wind or whatever hits it, it causes that coil to move around the magnet, which then creates an electrical current that is then converted to an audio signal. Now, what makes this microphone so unique is that it is essentially a dynamic mic, but it works a little differently. Rather than using a coil of wire, the way that it works is the ribbon itself is the diaphragm, and it's suspended between two magnets. Whenever this ribbon vibrates between the two magnets, it creates an electrical current that is, again, then converted to an audio signal. So what you've been hearing this entire time is the Audio-Technica AT2020. And now I'm going to switch to my Audix. So this is audio from my Audix i5 dynamic microphone. This is essentially what you get. Rather than being super detailed in the high end, this microphone excels for loud instruments like snare drums or guitar cabinets. And it's really versatile and it's durable. So I can throw this thing at like a brick wall 20 times and it would still work. Mostly because the parts that are in it aren't actually fragile and the diaphragm itself is protected in a metal enclosure. So it's fairly durable. I can do whatever I really want to it. You see these microphones on snare drums or even live vocals, like the Shure SM58. So yeah, this is a little taste of what you get. So this is the Austin Mics DIY kit ribbon mic. And again, it's similar to the dynamic mic here in the way that it operates, but I have to be a lot more careful with it because it's a lot more susceptible to plosives and I can't just drop it. It also is pretty susceptible to sound vibrations being transferred into it through my hand. So again, apologies if you can hear that. And I'm not actually talking in it, I'm talking above it. That way I don't accidentally rip the microphone by any hard plosives. Now, the interesting thing about ribbon microphones is that they are almost exclusively a figure eight pattern. So that means that what you hear in the front is effectively the same, if not similar to what you hear in the back. But if I try to talk to it on the side, you can hear the volume get quite a bit lower. And then once I bring it around here, you can hear it start to really come back and sound kind of normal. The other interesting thing about ribbon microphones is that they are incredibly susceptible to the proximity effect. So if I hold it further away, you get a little less bass, even though I'm talking a bit louder. But if I bring it closer and I talk real quiet, you can hear that there's a lot more bass in my voice. A lot of that is just a byproduct of the way that the ribbon microphone works. As you heard, each of these microphones sound a little bit different and they each serve different purposes. For example, this microphone would be good for pop vocals where that extra shimmer is really nice. This guy, the dynamic Audix i5, would be great for guitar cabinets or snare drums. I think that this ribbon mic would really excel as a room mic, as a piano mic, something that doesn't have a whole lot of airflow, something that is nice and warm anyway. So this would be great for like vintage vocals of drums. Again, as you heard, all three of these microphones are created a little differently. They sound a little differently and they serve different purposes. So let me know what you guys think. What mics sounded better? Were there any that you really liked? Were there any that you didn't like? Let me know and I'll see you guys.